Yeah, it's your boy Crypto Blood, and welcome to another My 2 Cents episode. This morning, we are looking at something that, man, I don't know if you guys caught this, but this is major. China threatens retaliation after Trump signs Hong Kong democracy bill. We're going to take a look at what this bill encompasses and what does this mean for the relationship between China and the U.S. I mean, you know, we got Trump out there every other day saying they've got a deal signed. Every other week, there's a deal. We're close to a deal. He's stringing it along. He's really trying to keep this market up, I think. It's more of a optics thing, in my opinion, when it comes to Trump on many issues in the United States. And this is one he knows is a linchpin in the economy. If he can keep the people, more importantly, Wall Street, you know, kind of keep that carrot dangling in front of them, he feels like he's in a good position because he knows that the public really associate a good stock market with a good economy. It's unfortunate that we're that dumb, but it is what it is. So we'll take a look at this Hong Kong democracy bill that was signed by Trump. But you know the routine. Make sure you click the thumbs up, losers, click the thumbs down, and subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to click that notification bell to receive more videos like this. Before we get started, though, let's take a look at the stock market. As I stated, Trump is doing an excellent job keeping this thing heading to all-time highs. We hit yet another one yesterday, guys. Dow Jones closed at 28,164 bucks. It's insane. And I'm in the camp that believes we're going to continue to see a melt up in the stock market. We're going to continue to see gold underperform other asset classes, silver as well, in my opinion, until this thing actually blows up or implodes on itself. But until then, no, I see this thing continually heading higher. That is the stock markets. I did a video, I think, yesterday on MMT. That's modern monetary theory. And many believe that we're swinging toward that side of monetary policy, from doing QE, printing money and adding it to the stock market, essentially buying those types of assets, to printing money to pay the actual country's deficit and inject money at the bottom. We'll see if that actually occurs. But if we do start to transition toward MMT, then maybe we'll start to see real assets move up and outperform financial assets like stocks and bonds. But in the meantime, this thing is heading higher. I want to go over China's accusations. They basically said that the U.S. move to sign this Hong Kong bill was a sinister one. Oh, wow, this is crazy. China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs said Thursday it firmly opposes the U.S. signing of a bill into law that supports Hong Kong protesters. The ministry emphasized that Hong Kong is part of China through the one country, two system policy, and that the special administration region's issues are internal affairs. On Wednesday evening, Trump signed the Hong Kong Human Rights and Democracy Act of 2019 into law. He also signed another bill banning the sale of munitions like tear gas and rubber bullets to Hong Kong police, which is interesting. And again, you know, Trump is a polarizing figure without a shadow of a doubt. Will break up families during Thanksgiving for sure. But you have to give this guy credit for doing what is right, man. Like, what's going on in Hong Kong is entirely wrong. You know, how China is taking over prematurely is a situation that needs to be recognized and needs to be talked about and highlighted. You saw the NBA, they were cowards in this whole situation and walked back their comments and all their pandering and posturing they did after the one individual from the organization made mention about the Hong Kong protests. So, you know, no one, but it looks like Trump has the balls to stand up to this nonsense. China's Ministry, it says, of Foreign Affairs said Thursday the U.S. has sinister intentions and its plot is doomed to fail after President Trump signed two bills supporting Hong Kong protesters into law. State media also published a statement from the Hong Kong Liaison Office emphasizing its commitment to defending its one country, two system policy. It says here, we're officially telling the U.S. and a handful of opposition politicians in Hong Kong who follow Americans' lead to not underestimate our determination to protect Hong Kong's prosperity and stability. Don't underestimate our belief to protect the one country, two system policy, and don't underestimate our capabilities and strategies to protect our country's sovereignty, safety, growth, and rights. That sounds kinetic to me, people. You guys got to let me know. That sounds like a threat. A kinetic threat, meaning missiles. I'm talking about firearms, gunplay. This is what this sounds like to me. You let me know. Article goes on to say Hong Kong is a semi-autonomous territory which operates under the one country, two systems principle, a structure that grants the city's citizens some degree of financial and legal independence from the mainland. In a statement released by the White House, Trump said, "I signed these bills out of respect for President Xi, China, and people of Hong Kong. They are being enacted in a hope that leaders and representatives of China and Hong Kong will be able to amicably settle their differences, leading to long-term peace and prosperity for all." Beijing's statements came just hours after Trump signed the Hong Kong Human Rights and Democracy Act 2019 into law. The bill would require the State Department to certify once a year that Hong Kong is sufficiently autonomous to retain its special U.S. trading considerations, a status that helps its economy for sure. He also signed another bill banning the sale of munitions like tear gas and rubber bullets to Hong Kong police. And this out of Zero Hedge talks about the same situation, but of course from a less political view than CNBC's narrative. It goes on to say here with the Zero Hedge article that asks the question, how does Trump's administration bullshit their way out of this by claiming a trade deal is close? Xi will be forced to respond, leaving Trump unable to offer a lifting of the imminent tariff threat. I have to agree with him. Like, we cannot even begin to think that there's a trade deal that's happening right now. Come on, people. Come on now. Like, let's use some common sense here. At this, like I said, I commend Trump for standing up for what's right. The people of Hong Kong have enjoyed a life of very free, economically flourishing economy for many, many years now. And to see what's going on is a little upsetting, and it's sad. It really is. Meanwhile, Trump, like he does on Twitter, tweets out new stock market record today. Again, congratulations, USA. And, I understand. I put it to you this way with Trump. Trump is, in my opinion, I see what he's trying to do, but at the end of the day, a stronger stock market does not help middle America. Unfortunately, most individuals don't stand to benefit from a higher stock market. It just is what it is. So optically, yes, it does look good for a narrative to paint that the stock market is heading higher. But in real terms, in real life, this does nothing for middle America. Nothing at all. And so Zero Hedge says on day 510 of the trade war, it appears that the president was confident enough that a collapse in trade talks won't drag stocks too far lower. And moments after futures reopened at 6 p.m., the White House said that Trump has signed a Hong Kong bill backing pro-democracy protesters, defying China, and making sure that every trader's Thanksgiving holiday was just ruined. Yeah. Anyone holding any equities over the Thanksgiving Thursday here today, they're probably not having a comfortable time at the dinner table because, when stuff opens up on Friday, it may be a Black Friday, all right. And, I have to say that I don't understand how the White House is saying that this is a bill that is passed out of respect for President Xi. This is a slap in the face, to be honest. It's an absolute slap in the face. Needless to say, the article goes on to say that no differences will be settled amicably, and now China will have no choice but to retaliate aggressively, straining relations with the U.S. and further complicating Trump's effort to wind down his nearly 2-year-old trade war with Beijing. Trump's signing of the bill comes during a period of unprecedented unrest in Hong Kong, where anti-government protests sparked by a now shelved extradition bill proposal will balloon into broader calls for democratic reform and police accountability. And one other less discussed but notable provision of the Hong Kong Human Rights Act targets media outlets affiliated with China's government. The new law directs the U.S. Secretary of State to clearly inform the government of the People's Republic of China that the use of media outlets to spread disinformation or to intimidate and threaten its perceived enemies in Hong Kong or in other countries are unacceptable. Man, this can really take a turn for the worse. And again, this is the right thing. Like, what Trump is doing is the right thing. Like, he is a person that's going to try to do the right thing. And it may sabotage some other things that he has on the table, but at the end of the day, right is right and wrong is wrong. And it's a delicate balance that he's dealing with here. Because to be honest with you, think about this. If Trump didn't care about the people of Hong Kong, the easiest and safest, least path of resistance would be to just leave this alone. He's got upcoming elections he's got to deal with. He's trying to, keep this bubble, as far as the stock market, this whole narrative, he's trying to keep that going. So it would have been in his best interest not to do this. It really would have. But he's doing what's right. He is doing what's right. in this case. And what's right is not always what's the easiest, least path of resistance choice to take. So as you see, U.S. futures tumbled after this came out. Oh, man. And then we had the yuan slump over 100 pips in a knee-jerk response to this whole situation. So things are about to get ugly, people. And I'm just curious to see how in the hell Trump is going to balance this with the stock market. You know, that's one of his anchoring points here, that America is doing great, along with the, you know, various job numbers and economic numbers that are coming out that on paper do look good. But I think things are crumbling under us. Under the surface, things are definitely getting worse here in America. So it's just going to be interesting to see how Trump plays this, because he's got a hell of a situation on his hands.
Yet, always in my mind, I seem to feel the creature is lurking somewhere close at hand.
Respect my gangster!
So any of you who like to be on the internet, like to watch videos, look at articles, the best thing on the internet isn't the actual article. It isn't the video. It's the comments, people. That's where all the entertainment is. And so this segment in the My 2 Cents video is dedicated to that. So let's get to lurking in the comments on Zero Hedge with this one. OCN Stiggs says, hey, China, perhaps you should have taken Trump up early on and stopped stealing intellectual property. Those badly needed dollars would still be flowing in. Keep this up and your 100-year view may become irrelevant. He says China is on the same path as Japan, and in less than half the time, you may find yourself backed into a corner the CCP can't extricate you from. You cannot run from the truth. Just saying. What do you guys think about that comment? I mean, he's talking about China heading toward what Japan is doing. What about the U.S.? I think everyone's heading toward that path. I mean, it's a race to the bottom, in my opinion. And Lord Flynn says we're all doomed. Doomed, I say. Hey, man, I have to agree with you. This is not. This is a lose-lose for everyone, in my opinion. This is not anything where I see a positive outcome for anyone. This guy Schrodinger's rat said that the U.S. strategy still seems to be to sow as much chaos as possible. They think it's the only way to keep an edge with their uncompetitive economy. Wow. But they are slowly running out of options, and the day of reckoning where they have to start living within their means is fast approaching. The empire will not survive and be demoted to second and third world status within the next century. Wow. You know what, man? I think I have to agree with him. You guys let me know your thoughts on this comment. I think this is the best comment so far I've read. The truest, I should say. STA has a great comment here. He says, the last poll results indicated 90% of people in Hong Kong want change. China lost this battle, but will lose the war? The war is between U.S.-style society, where 5% get 95% of the results, and many people go on social welfare. And China-style present society is where 5% get less, say 50% of the results max, with focus to remove poverty within society. Correct me if I'm wrong. It says Hong Kong society resembles the U.S., where many people are left in such dispersed conditions to justify smashing public properties as a way for their voice to be heard and provoke change. Does it resemble the homeless people in California industrial hubs? U.S. banking system, he says, and China banking system both conducted huge sins after issuing printed money without coverage. But the question is, which society order will blow up first? The leaving of the U.S. dollar as a world currency could escalate the outcome, but whether U.S. will find a way not to allow this to happen, who knows? Whether China will follow Japan's path, or will they be the next country to rewrite the human history, is yet to be seen. So this is very true, man. Very good comments in this section. You guys should definitely go entertain yourself. I'll leave a link to this actual article in the description below. But man, we've got a situation on our hands, people. We really have a situation on our hands, and I don't know how this ends. I think all of this is a symptom, and one guy said this in the comments, this is a symptom of the U.S. losing the world reserve power of their currency. It doesn't happen overnight normally. It's a transitioning period. Who's gonna grab it though? Who's taking the next world reserve status? It won't be painless. It won't go without war. And so, you have to prepare your household, prepare your finances, and think in a very rational way when doing so. It's your boy Crypto Blood. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe, and click that bell. And that's my 2 cents for today. You guys go ahead and stuff those mouths and celebrate the massacre of millions of indigenous people here in the States. It's your boy Crypto Blood. I'm out of here. Holla.